Yeah, the day was a fun day. Um, I finished up a little under 200, so nothing crazy. I just go with 20 contracts, so I know for sure I'm not in my real accounts, just because I can't buy 20, use 20 contract anyway. So if you look at the overnight action on using my orb here, um, so go back to London, you had this nice range here. Obviously, everything just kind of broke down. We'll get to the New York in a second. Oh, that one's broken. This is kind of my new London one. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you have first touch of the orb, first touch on the lower part. We get a nice trap trade on the lower orb, reverse. Of course, there's a God mode long, which got sucked into a trap. And then we have a reverse, and then obviously major breakdown right at 8, well, 9 actually, at 9 o'clock. So it's kind of interesting. If you go to my other chart, um, kind of like, so I have this, I built it 2 indicators that I'll publish soon. One's designed for only sweeps, and then the other one's only dialed in for accumulation. But I just want to specialize so you can see on the 3 minute how the sweep. You don't want just trade the sweeps, right? That's kind of ludicrous. But if you add even if you add sorry, wrong one. So back when the sweep happened, the sweep wasn't as good because it was mid Gann. This one, look at this. The sweep happens, so it gives you more confidence. Even still, even if you did trade, like you, oh man, what a, I mean, right? You're wrong. Maybe that one got you, but then look at that. I mean, just crazy, crazy down. As far as the open today, right? A little tricky, I'd say. When you add in, so you just kind of go back in the day as the market broke up, trap, kind of a fake breakout, then look at another fake breakout. There was a trap trade, but then immediately bounced right at again level. You have a sweep kind of up here, so you have like a nice little triple top, and then for longs, actually, you can see how it bounced right off the upper orb. Was it close to it again? It wasn't really that close to it again. This 497 is a good long. Well, it broke up here, started consolidating, but ultimately you get this nice bounce off the orb. So even if you missed, like look at this, this is even late. So it bounces off the orb, and then you can see I did a practice trade long here. So yeah, kind of interesting stuff. I'm trying to think anything else that I'm working on. Yeah, I love the orb with Gann, honestly, and the to say look at this. So the flux divergences did pretty well. I mean, this one um, got snagged. Let's see. Let's check this out. So yeah, even the prop firm edition. Let's see if we move this down to 2 minute. See a break, stop out, and then interesting how that one. See a failed breakout, but then yeah, these breakouts are tough. That's why I like to have more than just a breakout trade. How did the signals do? So yeah, the chop edition did a pretty good job, honestly. Caught all these shorts down here, and then so yeah, that short. Well, these two, this one's break even or loss, and obviously that one got bounced. But again, you use GAN lines with these as well too to help you filter. You don't just trade signals, but those look pretty good. Let's see. Let's check this one out. Yeah, this is a different version of the quantum flux, a little bit more robust. But yeah, stopped out, winning trade, and then this one is remain to be seen. And then this is the signal engine. How they do this is just a straight EMA. Well, nothing more than just a EMA indicator. So yeah, you go long, short. This is a day where EMAs kind of get destroyed because you get these impulse moves, and then there's not anything that stays it. So EMA traders got pretty much lit up. This orb actually isn't doing too bad. Yeah, I'm just constantly. I already know after testing for 15 years, like putting. I put the. I probably could do a video about it, but I put all the A plus trades in a Python script, put it in the cloud, and then I had to do an optimizer for settings, but then ultimately I just ran 15 years of data on only A breakouts, and it was consistently a winning indicator or a signal. So 75% win rate. Profit factor wasn't amazing, 1.57, but it did show that the orb strategy is profitable in NQ over 15 years. So that's why I not really pivoted, but I added the orb with GAN because, right, you need something that works every day or within reason. I know you can't be profitable every day, but you know what I'm saying, like something that I know these levels, like it can get a little crazy, so you can, it's like you do analysis, but then you gotta um, it gets to be kind of crazy. So this one has some GAN lines built in, so I don't really need to add. It's pretty close. It doesn't highlight the main ones, really. Kind of like, I guess this is highlighted. Let's see here. Oops. So yeah, these two are highlighted. The main areas that I like to be trading at. So this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, this Orb New York one. But again, taking breaks with the whipsaws is really tricky. Hence why I added the sweeps, because then it gives you, sometimes it can give you some better entries with the orbs. As long as you don't go too crazy with it. You want to make sure. So if you just did the sweeps just with GAN, so if you're using GAN as your primary, with the where, you give a sweep. Again, that candle's pretty far away. Again, the candle close is pretty far away from where I like to be trading near GAN levels. These sweeps are not, it's a significant GAN, but not my favorite GAN. You can see now we are getting a sweep near a GAN level up here. So it's all, how you want to trade. There's always a setup, right? Trade NQ long enough, you're going to find a setup that you will meet your confluence. I had this line here because I was looking at how if you entered here on a signal and then you look at the massive, it's like, well, it's a 1, 2, 3 retracement right at a GAN. So, I mean, that's the thing, if you're patient enough, you have a nice break, retest of this GAN. And I like to be trading at major GANs if ideally, but this is kind of a good example up here. Price never got up to a main GAN level. So now we have all these sweeps right by kind of a minor GAN level. But, so it's kind of really, if I'm in a trade like this, and that's why I like GAN levels, because if it stays short of 627, my stop's going to be, in the right by the GAN, right? And I could be shooting for a target here for a profit, or if the market takes off, we might get back down to 495, but who knows? I mean, right now, it's kind of in a chop, kind of just chopping around basically after that big move down, right? That's where a day like I mentioned, like today is pretty brittle for EMAs because everything just kind of just goes and then it stops, right? And then it starts consolidating around. But if we kind of layer this out, so the flux, I mean, look how good the orbs are though, right? Breaks out, pauses. If you're a straight breakout trader of the orb, then, and then you want to become like a mean reversion trader, you have to have different tools or just don't trade it. Either you trade these breakouts, right? I don't know what the hell. It's funny. I built so many. I forgot what the hell that one even does. I guess I do see a signal. That's horrible. So this signal is not. I can just get rid of that. This orb is interesting. So this does just kind of straight breakouts. It starts at I don't know if it flows. I think I can just get rid of that one too. Just so many. So then we have the fighter jet, which is really good. This is has a break and then reclaims. So break, and then if it's actually pretty cool. It keeps it pretty clean. Yesterday's action. Look at that. It breaks the lower orb. You could be scalping down. This reclaim lost. This break lost, but then you have a nice reclaim right to the midsection. And then hopefully you'll be done. But either case, this break lost obviously, but then this reclaim. Really, if you were waiting around almost a day, this reclaim long killed it. So that's kind of interesting code where it just does the breaks and reclaims based on the orb price action. So you can see if you're just basing off this, you'd be back long because we bounced off the orb and we didn't reclaim inside the orb, right? So we'll see we obviously won't play the area too much, but or you just wait for a reclaim and then you trade it like that. That's kind of a cool indicator. This orb, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I think it's doing, yeah, it's kind of a cool indicator. It's almost the same thing, honestly, as the fighter. You can see how it's actually calculating different. So I think the calculation is, maybe the jet one's wrong, actually. Unless I changed it. 930 to 10. Either case, I mean, easy to fix that. So, yeah, I think I mentioned before, these two, this one didn't do very well, but this one's a break even. So this New York one, I know this is right. So yeah, this one up here is the wrong one. But yeah, yeah, pretty cool. You can see the chop, man. What a pretty tough day, in a way. Unless you're just kind of like, well, I shouldn't say tough. I traded the kind of like I was waiting. What I did is yeah, when I just traded this trap trade. Market broke up. I just traded the trap down to here and just took a small profit and didn't. Then I was done. It does automatically put some fair value gaps in that you can trade, which is kind of cool. So it helps you kind of see the structure of the market. But yeah, good stuff overall. I'd say definitely. I'd say a lot of people. Um, well, like every day, I think if people trade EMAs or anything lagging, really struggle today. If you traded levels, you definitely could scalp and do okay. Still not like an easy day, like a clear. I can see how, look at this. So now I have a sweep, which is kind of a conflict because I have above the orb. So let's see here. If you switch, but you don't want to keep flip flopping, but if you're basing your trade off this sweep, we'll see if I can get a bounce down to this level, or we're going to hold. This is where I like to trade at levels. So we can see here, let's trade this on. Okay, so this is a good example. So we have a sweep at a minor GAN level. Like I'd love the sweep a lot more if it was up here. I'd love that. Like if the sweep was up as main, but you know, if you're trading small and if you enter here and your stops here, right? That's definitely a valid trade. It is at a GAN level, and you do have a sweep, and everything has been choppy. So you're not really looking for a trend trade today, right? It's kind of like a bear trap day. Anyway, it's kind of interesting though. So anyway, I will break down stuff later this week, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna publish these sweep indicators later on for my group. I think they're pretty cool. I just want to make sure they're really good before I do so. As far as getting the code all nice and tight and where there's no issues. So anyway, thanks guys. Take care.